Hello, everybody. This is me, Amin,
And this Alex.
and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk About. And in this episode, it's a special edition. For the first time ever, we have a guest in our studio. So I'm not gonna do the introduction. I'm gonna let him introduce himself, and then we're gonna go into the topic. All right. So our studio guest, can you introduce yourself?
Hi, thank you for having me today. Yeah, I'm very honored to be the first guest in the studio. My name is Khairuan from PayNet, Payment Network Malaysia Sdn Bhd, and I'm director of the Retail Payment Services.
Okay, thank you, Khairuan. We're happy that you're brave enough to come and be the first first person to be in our studio for a full-on face-to-face interview. So Khairuan is the director of
Retail Payment Services.
Retail Payment Services, and the company is called PayNet, right?
Yes.
So for those of you who are not familiar, PayNet are the people behind this thing called DuitNow and DuitNow QR. So in this episode, we'll be talking about what is DuitNow, what is DuitNow QR, what's the difference? Is DuitNow like another alternative to all the many e-wallets available in Malaysia right now? Are they direct competitors? And how does it benefit you guys as users?
Oh, hi, didn't see you there. Was just listening to the new Jabra Elite 85T, and they've got an impressive feature list. They've got ANC with a dedicated chip to more efficiently drown out surrounding noise so you can enjoy your music better. They also feature a semi-open design with natural hear-through when you need it, and they'll last up to 25 hours with ANC turned on. But the best part, if you want one of these, you won't even need to buy them because we will be giving one pair away. So just leave a comment on this video to be in the running. More details in the description box below. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna get back to this.
So I think I'll go into the first question. What is DuitNow and DuitNow QR?
Yeah. Before that, allow me to talk a little bit about PayNet. Yeah.
Sure,
Because
sure.
I think since this is a first time we have this session, I think it's important to talk about PayNet a little bit. So Payment Network Malaysia Sdn Bhd, or PayNet, the short form, is the national payments and shared central infrastructure for Malaysia financial market. Yeah. So we are the national provider of financial market utilities, and we aim to build inclusive, accessible, and efficient payments and financial ecosystem for Malaysia. We have just not DuitNow and QR. We have full suite of retail services under our wings, such as IBG fund transfer. Yeah, we also run or operate JomPay for the national bill payments. We have My Debit for the ATM cards. Yeah, and we have FPX to facilitate e-commerce transaction. We have direct debit for these recurring payments, and like I said, we also provide ATM utilities for the country. Yeah.
I see.
So we
Okay.
work behind the banks. Basically, banks are our participant, and today we also have eWallet as also a direct participant, which is positioned themselves as just like a bank in Malaysia. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So then, okay, that's a very good introduction because then that opens up to a lot of other questions. So are banks and e-wallets the same thing now, or do you see them as the same thing?
They are on the same level field, I would say that. Yeah, because when we launched retail payments platform in Malaysia back in 2018, it's supposed to modernize the entire payment infrastructure for the country. Yeah, because if you look at the trending in the world, things moving from ISO 8583 to ISO 2022. Sorry, I'm going a bit technical here. Yeah. So why it happened? Because I think again, we want to move cash and check to e-payment. That's our objective. Yeah. And when we look at why there are some sectors, for example, or some businesses reluctant to move from cash and check to the e-payment. So there's a lot of gaps need to be filled up to complete all the boxes, for example. Yeah. So we come up with this retail payment platform which to address all these issues. So basically so now back to your question, whether are they same or different? Yeah. So in RPP, or real-time payment platform, which launched in 2018, we allow the non-banks to come in as a direct participant into the ecosystem. So let's say today we see we have Touch and Go, we have Boost, we have a Grab coming into the ecosystem as a direct participant. However, when they are into they can offer services that the banks offer to the customers. Not all, but most of it. Yeah. But at the same time, they still need a bank to complete the entire ecosystem, which is to facilitate the settlement. Because today, when the settlement for the country happened in Rentas platform, which is owned by Central Bank and run by PayNet. So today, they need a sponsor bank to settle on a daily transaction on behalf of the entire ecosystem.
Wow. Okay.
I think that's a bit too much.
No, it's not. Like only today did I learn that there is so much more to making sure that you're able to transact quickly and instantly via online platforms. I thought it was just the bank's problem. So I guess it's PayNet's problem. So you guys make sure that the transaction is possible, right?
Yeah, when we talk about, our role is to allow from bank A customers move their payment to bank B, for example. That's before. So now we also facilitate not just the bank, it's also open up to the e-wallet.
Yeah, so there's bank A, bank B, vendor A, vendor B, vendor C, right? The e-wallet providers.
Yeah, we have e-wallet and also we have the banks.
All right. So now how does DuitNow come into the equation?
Yeah, so DuitNow, I think like being a Malaysian, we are lucky because we've been enjoying instant fund transfer for many years. Yeah, so we have IBG for the batch fund transfer. Then we also have instant fund transfer, which is I would send money to Alex and Alex get it right away. Yeah, but then it's always to the account number, and I always have to ask Alex, "Hey, Alex, what's your account number and which bank?" These two questions important to complete the transaction.
Yep.
So with DuitNow, we allow the customers or the senders to send not just to account number. It also allow a sender to send money to a phone number or to IC number or even to business ID. So we call it proxies. So that would eliminate the two questions that I have to ask Alex earlier, your account number and which bank. Today, as long as I have Alex's handphone number, I could just transfer to Alex's phone number. But Alex had to register with his bank to receive money via DuitNow. Yeah.
So what's the difference with that versus DuitNow QR? It sounds the same thing, but it's different, right?
Right. DuitNow and DuitNow QR both riding on the retail payment platform that I mentioned earlier, which is the RPP, which we launched in 2018. Yeah. So the difference, DuitNow is a moving transfer, which P2P transfer. Yeah, I can move from myself, Khairuan, transfer to Alex. That's a DuitNow. When we talk about QR, is to facilitate the purchases at the counter. So that's why I say today when we build real-time payment platform, is about moving cash and check to e-payment. So now we also go to the tier 4 merchants and micro sellers, to make sure that they accept e-payment. Then they which is QR will be one of the options available for them, which is a cost effective for them.
Okay, so if I'm trying to simplify this, DuitNow requires at least like a number, like a phone number or an IC number.
Yeah.
DuitNow QR, all you need to just scan a QR code.
You just need a QR. Yeah.
And the principle is the same.
Correct.
And it's for like micro sellers, like you mentioned, the pakcik and makcik and all that, the goreng pisang stores. It's easier for them because payment is obviously quicker. I think a lot of people don't realize that.
Yeah.
It's like all you have to just tap and scan and verify, and you don't have to have the hassle of handling cash on site. You don't have to have the hassle of doing transacting with changes and small money, duit kecil and everything. So there's not a problem.
Exactly. Yeah.
But what are the challenges? Because for me, even running a technology website, I don't see a lot of traction when it comes to DuitNow and DuitNow QR. So what is the issue here?
Yeah. So I think to be fair for the industries, the banks today we have more than 18 banks and wallet already offer the service, and we saw that the numbers of acceptance has grown to more than 600,000 merchant acceptance nationwide. Yeah, so the traction is there, and in fact, in terms of the transaction volume, we look at it's been growing rapidly. So of course, for a couple of months ago, we only have below 10,000, and now we're hitting almost 100,000 per day.
You're talking about transaction
for DuitNow QR.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think the traction is building up. I would say that, but then what is lacking still now is on the awareness. Because if I go out there, of course this MCO, I can't travel interstate. Yeah. So if let's say I go to a cafe for coffee, I do find a few places they still display multiple DuitNow QR on the counter, which is I think that's what I said about awareness. Yeah, because the moment a merchant, like Makcik Kia, selling nasi goreng pisang or ABC. Wow, now like make me feel like thirsty and hungry now. Time for snack. Okay, so like they don't need to display multiple DuitNows QR on the counter. Yeah, they just need one, because let's say I pick one here, let's say for Boost, for example. Yeah, so customers of Maybank can scan it. Touch and Go customer can scan it. Yeah, so everyone can scan it, because DuitNows QR allow interoperable between banks customers and wallet customers.
Wow. Okay, that's like super amazing, because so let me try to visualize it. So if I have Maybank QR, and then I scan the QR code, it takes the money from my Maybank account.
Yes.
So if I have like a Touch and Go wallet, I just scan the QR code using the app, and it knows how to do that.
Yes, that's our job, to do the reconciliation at the back of the system.
Wow. So basically, you don't need multiple QR codes. You just need one.
Correct.
And the customer doesn't need to worry about anything. You just choose whichever. Okay. So
So this puts the end to like multiple QR codes on the counter. So like right now, you go to most of the shops, you see like this Touch and Go, there's Boost, there's a Maybank May and all that. So you just need one QR code on the shop to accept payments.
Yeah.
But does it mean that you're directly competing with the e-wallet players?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think like my first statement, I talk about how RPP, real-time payment platform, allow the banks and wallet to come together to complete the entire ecosystem. So our role is to provide shared infrastructure. So we are not competing with the banks. We're not competing with the e-wallet. In fact, for PayNet, we own by 11 local banks, and our largest shareholders is Central Bank of Malaysia, Bank Negara Malaysia.
I see.
So we are complete the entire ecosystem by allowing the interoperable between current saving accounts and e-wallet.
Oh, okay. So basically, let me try to understand. Your end game is not, because I wanted to ask, what's your end game, right? There's where's the money making thing happening here?
Okay. So PayNet is not like we are not profit center entities. Yeah, because whatever excess money that we have, we will plow back to industries in terms of building new infrastructures, and also to keep up with the in terms of maintenance of the infrastructure. For PayNet, we do not even pay dividend to our shareholders. So whatever money that excess money we have, we will plow back to the industries in terms of creating the awareness about the e-payment, to move cash check to e-payment. That's one. Second, to build. Like another one things that we are building today is the mule mule portal. Yeah, so basically to have centralized platform. If let's say we have one suspected mule account, so it will be registered in that center portal. So all the banks may see, so okay, may not be right. It's fishy accounts, so we may not want to allow transactions to go in. So these are things that the assessment that we have is plowed back to the industry infrastructure.
Wow. So is that available already?
Not yet, still building.
Okay. And will the public be able to access that? Because that's a very powerful tool.
The access is only for the banks.
For the banks. I see. Okay.
And also, when you mention about PayNet, right, the first thing that comes to most consumers' mind is Maps, which enables you to withdraw cash from different ATM machines throughout the country. And when you think about Maps, most people always think about, I had to pay RM1 to transact at different ATM machines.
Yeah.
But now I understand that it's free of charge because of the COVID situation. But how about using DuitNows QR? Is there a charge to the consumer if they scan? Let's say I'm using a Touch and Go account and I scan on a Maybank May QR code. Is there any charges for the consumer?
Because when we build QR ecosystem for the country, it has to comply with certain regulation and guideline issued by the central bank. So based on ICTF, Inter-Credit Transfer, ICTF, Inter-Transfer Credit Interoperable. Need to check the one, yeah?
I don't know, you're the expert, tell us.
ICTF, issued it back in 2018, the banks or the wallet should not charge or transfer the charge to the consumer. So meaning it's free for consumers, as long as it's individual consumers.
That is regulated lah.
It's regulated.
Oh wow. That's good. For e-wallet transactions.
For DuitNows QR and DuitNows, it's free for consumers.
Oh wow.
Transaction below 5,000 ringgit.
Wow. What is the incentive for the wallets and the banks to participate then?
Because this is national agenda to onboard to move the cash and check users to e-payment. That's one. Then what motivate them? Of course, when we talk about dealing with cash, there's a lot of hidden costs behind it. Yeah, without us noticing as the consumers. Yeah, like you said earlier, correctly. Dealing with cash. It would involve. We talk about insurance company to make sure that you get robbed in some, like you insured the entire, cash in transit, or saying you have to hire like security team, to really escort the money to arrive to the destination and go back to the banks and stuff. That's all hidden costs behind it. Consumer hardly seeing it. So for the banks and eWallet, it's all about, to run the business effectively. So one way is to reduce this cash in transit cost. Just move to e-payment.
And also another thing and I like about DuitNow QR is that on the merchant side, because the traditional way, if I want to accept e-payments from multiple providers, I need to have a merchant account with Grab, merchant account with Boost, merchant account with Touch 'n Go eWallet, and maybe I have another Meme account to do my day-to-day transactions. But we do it now QR, they just need one acquirer account. But does it mean that eWallet players are feeling the pinch because merchants, you just need one acquirer? Why do I need to open accounts with so many players now?
But the good thing is like that would help. That would promote healthy competition. So from the merchant perspective, I'll pick the best service that we get from the acquirer, because before this I have no choice. As a like a Malaysia, for example, right? I need to go to multiple acquirer because I need them. So now it's like a Malaysia who say, okay, whoever can give me the best deal, a best service, who buy my nasi lemak every day, so I would sign up with them. So I think it's fair because like it create healthy competition.
So I guess PayNet's intent is to drive the modernization and digitalization of the, I wouldn't say banking industry, but is to make sure that it's easier for people to transact, right? But you mentioned earlier that the problem is, although you're seeing an increase in traction and transaction, awareness is still an issue. And why do you think that is? And what are you doing to improve that?
So I think awareness and education, it require like a continuous effort. It's not just from PayNet. It's also require the banks to educate their customers and eWallet to also educate the customers to talk about how important to have to use e-payment, for example. Just not just do it now. It could be any other means in terms of e-payment. So well, from PayNet's perspective, we run a lot of campaigns to educate the users one area, then to also educate the merchant, why they need to do, to accept e-payments, how e-payment would benefit them in terms of running their daily business, for example. So there are series of communications and program that we run together with the bank, together with the government agencies. So like with the business association, just to create awareness about the importance of e-payment and also how safe e-payment is. Because I think like when talk about safety of e-payment, it's not just PayNet role or the bank's role, it's the entire ecosystem role, to talk about how safe the e-payment is, like as long as we as an individual not sharing our credential with the third party.
Yes. And I agree. Sorry, Alex, go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's good that you brought up about security and all that, because there are always concerns about scams and fraudulent transactions when it comes to eWallet. Because I think past few months we hear about people's eWallet account getting hacked, their accounts getting drained. So how does DuitNow QR handle such disputes? How do you ensure that your transactions are safe when you use DuitNow QR?
There are like a few guidelines and policies that the acquirer, the issuer have to observe, and also to protect the merchant and consumer as well at the same time. That's one. From the layman perspective, when I scan, let's say, Machikia QR, DuitNow QR, there is always a name will appear on my mobile screen. So be I scan from Touch 'n Go, from Grab, or from Maybank, from any e-wallet, major e-wallet, or banks, mobile banking apps, as long as it's DuitNow QR, then I would see the names of the merchant. So if let's say the merchant is supposed to be Makcik Kia Goreng Pisang, then the name that appear on my screen is not same as what stated on the QR or standee on the table. So as a consumer, I should not proceed it. So maybe someone has tampered into the QR. So it's require education, to make sure that just similar in terms of bill payment. If today I want to pay to telecom, for example, then when I key in the transaction, then it appear company ABC. As a consumer, I should not proceed. So I should stop there before I confirm the payment.
Is it possible to mask that? I mean, like how scammers are now, right? So they are so canggih now that they can call you in a number, and then it's masked, and then it shows like it's a legit number, but actually it's not. For QR transaction, like the one that you mentioned just now, is it possible to do that?
I think it is not necessary to mask it because it's a face-to-face transaction. I'm scanning QR in front of me, and then my mobile is here. So I would say the name is the same. If we mask it, so the consumer not be able to compare whether is this the right name or not.
I see. I mean, like for example, okay, let's say, for example, the QR code you have there, it's called David Futsal, right? If I scanned it, it's been tempered, it's been tweaked like overnight, right? Somebody changed that. It's still David Futsal, but on the screen, on the apa ni, customer punya screen, it says David Futsal as well. Is it possible for that to happen?
It is possible, I would say that, but then, as a merchant Kia,
Yes.
I would suggest take home the QR. Don't leave it there.
Because I'm also thinking like, what if I like go to a shop, right? I print my own QR code and then I register a name that's quite similar and stick over it. And then maybe Machikia didn't realize that her QR code got tampered with.
We saw that happen in like in China and kind of stuff,
Yes.
So it is possible.
Yes.
So it's create the entire kampung to create this awareness. It's just not the bank's responsibility. It's just not like, the e-wallet responsibility. Take the entire ecosystem players to build the awareness.
Okay, in terms of take up, right? You say awareness and education is important. Do you feel that it's apprehension or ignorance that people are not, like, especially merchants? Because I feel that the Makcik Kias and the Pakcik Dolah and all that, right? They will benefit greatly from this. So, is it apprehension or ignorance that they're not on board?
It could be both. But then, like we saw that would be one of the challenge. So therefore, like the industries, which is the banks, the e-wallet players, are addressing those issues. Try to reach out to very, like a grassroots level. Like to go down to the tier 4, to go down to other kampung to make sure the awareness is there, and they, at the end of the day, they would accept the e-payment. Of course, the journey will not take overnight. It would take time. So also a strategy of the industries, to convert those sellers in urban area first. Then after that, hopefully, when we go balik kampung, for example, during Hari Raya time, so then that can become word of mouth. We will start talking to our cousins back in kampung, our family members. Hey, this is happening. So
Duit Raya pun can use QR code.
Exactly, that's the point. So I think, like I said earlier, it's not overnight. We cannot change the customer behavior just overnight. It will take time. Education is important. Perhaps maybe just another suggestion. Maybe we can look into how can we talk about financial literacy at the school level during sekolah rendah, all these things. It should start from there.
That's a good idea. Actually, the Duit Raya thing. I mean, do you see like a take up during festive seasons, like Chinese New Year and stuff like that?
Yes, definitely. I think, like, of course, COVID not all bad about it. So we saw, like, the e-payment transaction grow tremendously.
Wow.
So it's high before COVID, and now, like, we saw that it grew more than 100% during COVID time. In terms of the e-commerce transaction.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like I just want to share my experience, because I feel now during COVID period especially, it's like I'm more aware of like the cash I'm holding in my hand, and then every time I have cash in my hands, like I don't want to hold it because it feels infected to me.
It's dirty, right?
Yeah, and my cash I know because it comes from the bank. I'm still okay. I know where it came from, but when I'm transacting with cash, and then the merchant
seller,
gives me the change back, right? It's like, it's sometimes if you buy from like a chendol store or whatever, right, it's wet or it's grimy. It's like, I don't want to hold this anymore.
Especially in wet market. And also, like, personally,
wet market.
And personally, I think I only withdraw cash from the ATM machine maybe once a month now.
Yeah, same here.
Right.
So I just withdraw one amount, and because you can budget, like, okay, I probably need this for like the small things, but nowadays it's always cashless for me. Like, for example, today I forgot my wallet. It's at home. But I have my phone. It's fine. I don't need to go back and get my wallet to run my life, to buy lunch and things like that. So I guess the change is there. People are more familiar with it. It's just like the rural areas lah.
Yeah.
I mean, for transaction volume, right, per day, do you know how much people transact with DuitNow?
Yeah, those transactions coming to our system, we'll be able to know the average ticket size, the daily transaction volume. Yes, we have that statistics.
Yeah, so do you have like a ballpark figure before COVID and after COVID?
I would say that if you look at Bank report, they announced it, I think like yesterday, 31st March, it said that, On average, a person in Malaysia made 170 e-payment transactions as compared to 150 in 2019. So that would be the statistic reported by Bank Negara. So I think like in 2020 is COVID time. Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah. So it grew a lot. Then if you look at online banking transaction volume, it increased 49% as compared to 2019.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Then for the e-wallet transaction volume, it grew by 131%. Yeah. So I think that's to answer your question.
Yeah, wow, that means you are on a very healthy trajectory. People are just adopting it. I guess the momentum is there. The change is happening. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also for DuitNow QR, right? So right now we talk about transaction between consumers and the merchants. I mean, can it do more than just scanning a QR code at the shops? What are the potential features that's available with DuitNow QR? Can we do peer-to-peer transfers soon?
So we talk about P2P is happening, although like not all banks and wallet enable it, but then it's part of their in their pipeline. Yeah, it's supposed to enable it soon. For DuitNow QR, we also facilitate. We will facilitate a cross border. So we're looking at Thailand going to be the first country in May. Yeah, and followed by Indonesia, also happen in May. So and like by Q4, we're looking at to facilitate cross border with Singapore. So hopefully in 2021, DuitNow QR will be able to work together with Thailand, Singapore. So once the border is open, like if you go to Bangkok, you can scan PromptPay, which is like a Thai national QR. We call it PromptPay. Then we Malaysian can go there, scan PromptPay QR from our bank's mobile apps or even wallets mobile apps.
Wow.
Yeah. So when we similarly Thais come to Malaysia, they can scan DuitNow QR in Malaysia using their Thai's mobile banking apps.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah. So that is happening. So for Thailand and Indonesia, we are in the development period. And for Thailand, it's always at the end. I mean, we always complete the testing with Thailand. So hopefully by early May, there's some good news for the market. Yeah.
Okay, so with all this interoperability and I can now take my money is as good as it is in Thailand as it is in Malaysia. Does it spell the end of a lot of industries? Number one, like the ATM machines, are they gone? Money changes, are they gone? Or is this like a mark of like an industry change, like a complete paradigm shift in the way people transact with money?
Whether ATMs is gone, I think like the cash going to be there in the market. Yeah, it's just like the volume may be reduced. Yeah, we will not be eligible. We will not be able to eliminate cash 100%, wipe out from the country. We can't. Yeah, so it's going to remain. It's just that the volume circulated in the country may be reduced. That's what we want to look at. Yeah. So yep. So like there will be an option for the customer. So today, if let's say Alex travel to Bali, for example, like Alex don't have to worry to look at to bring a lot of cash because like both as long as Alex has his mobile apps, can scan all the Chris QR in Indonesia. Yeah.
Nice. Is there anything else, Alex?
Oh yeah. Also, okay. Give any message to the machikias out there? Like for example, if let's say a merchant, he or she is comfortable with using like Touch and Go or May or any provider, and how do they convert to DuitNow QR? What's the steps? Do they need to change the QR code? How does it work?
If let's say machikia today accepting multiple QRs on the counters, yeah. So what she need to do, either two options that she has. Number one of the acquirer will reach out to her to change the QR from the old QR to DuitNow QR, yeah. Or if let's say because of the travel restriction, the acquirer may not able to reach out to machikia, yeah, because can't travel across states and stuff. Yeah, what she also can do is like she can go to merchant apps provided by the one of the acquirer, let's say May, for example, or Touch and Go, yeah, or Boost. So she can generate the QR from the apps for the merchant mobile apps and print it herself and display it on the table. So today, once she does that, machikia does not need to display 3 or 4 DuitNow QR anymore because one QR is sufficient to collect fund from all banks app and eWallet apps.
Cool. That makes things so much easier.
Yep.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to ask, Alex?
This one I want to ask really. I forgot what is it. You want to go ahead first?
No, I'm pretty much done. I think we've covered pretty much everything. What is it that?
Something to do quite similar, but on consumer side. I forgot what I want to ask already.
Consumer presented QR.
Yeah. So
What is consumer presented QR?
Oh,
So that one is like the merchant scan the consumer's phone, is it?
correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So today we have customer scan merchant, C
Mm, mm.
scan M. Yeah. So
Yep.
we also developing another DuitNows QR. I mean another business model which allowing the merchant to scan consumer QR. So that one is targeting the tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 merchant because that would require a integration to the system. Yeah. So for Machikia, usually tier 4 and the micro sellers they would go with the consumer scan merchant QR, which what we have today.
What is the difference between the two? Like, I mean, because to me it's like
still QR. It's
Yeah.
just like
But
you scan
what
them
are
or
the
they scam
benefits?
you?
Yeah.
What are the benefits between the two? I mean, what are the I mean, the differences is clear. Like one of them is you scan me or I scan you, but then it's like
why they
at
go
the-
with that?
yeah, at the end of the
Yeah.
day, it's the same thing,
So
right?
let's pick one. I can mention names of the company, right?
Yeah,
sure,
Let's say
sure,
example.
sure,
Yeah. So let's say like Watson. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Watson store they would have a lot of transaction come in.
Mm.
Yeah. So if let's say consumer scan Watson QR,
Mm.
so it's gonna be a lot of transaction coming in to the system,
Mm.
which like it's a bit difficult for Watson to do reconciliation at the end of the day because you got 10,000 transactions.
I see.
Yeah, so
Okay,
that's why
okay.
those who have like a lot of transaction because they are tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 merchant,
Mhm.
and they would have like a little bit like a complex systems because they want to link with their PO invoice, delivery order, all these things. Yeah,
Yep,
so
yep,
they
yep,
will
yep.
go with the merchant scanned consumer QR.
I see.
Yeah, because they want to be in control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, I
Okay.
think another one is if the merchant scan the consumer, I think you can reduce one step because if not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, if a merchant scan the QR code, they need to enter the amount and then authenticate. But if it's the other way around, the QR code scanning is more dynamic in the sense that the merchant can push the amount that's required for transaction.
Yeah, because usually if merchant scanning consumer QR, right, the merchant already
Can preset amount.
the
It's-
cashier
it's
already
linked to the
scanned.
POS.
It's all like a
Yeah.
link to the POS.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
all it's come with a total amount, for example.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So that then the merchant would just you are right. You know, like
Scan.
like the merchant would scan QR offer. I mean like let me repeat this.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the merchant would scan consumer QR, which is the amount already been populated.
Yes.
So like today, if let's say I scan QR at Makcik Kia, for example, yeah. So I need to key in the amount.
Yeah.
Ringgit 50 cent, 5 ringgit, this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I usually do is I scan, okay, let's say if it's like an odd number, it's like 50 ringgit, 35 cents, right? And then I have to, is this correct? Is this correct?
yeah, I do that every
same
day.
here.
I do
Because
that every day.
It takes time, if you're doing like 100 transactions a
Yeah.
day or an hour, it
Yeah.
takes time.
I made a mistake once also because this one time I went to the shop, right, at Mama, right,
Uh.
and then I give my receipt. So the receipt has an amount, 17 ringgit 50 cents, and then I accidentally typed the table number 35. Then I tried to say, oh no, wrong number.
So how do you get a refund for that? They
Luckily,
give you like free roti canai.
no. Luckily, the cashier called the manager, so they cancel the
They can
transaction.
avoid it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and then I do it one more time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I think I'm done. Is there anything else you wanna check with Khairuan? I mean,
I think I'm covered, but maybe give any last words of anything you want to
Yeah.
tell consumers out there.
yeah. So before we end the show, is there anything you want to tell our listeners and our viewers about Do It Now?
Yeah, I think it's important because Ramadan is coming. Yeah, 2 more
Yeah.
weeks and Rayas are coming. So I think like for listeners out there, not listeners, viewers out there.
Listeners and viewers,
Yeah,
we
viewers
are
out
on
there, yeah.
YouTube and on podcast.
So like if you plan to to be part of the jual kuih muih during pasar Ramadan, like and start having like a jual baju kurung, baju Melayu songkok online kind of stuff. Yeah, so do accept e-payment. So I think like do consider DuitNows QR. It's one of the option because it's really good. You don't have to disclose your account number and the bank details to the to public because I saw a lot of cases today whereby all this like online resellers tend to display this is my Maybank account number. That would really fraudster come to me. Yeah, so I think so my message is to like to all the sellers out there, start adopting DuitNows QR to accept payment from your customers.
For Do It Now, what do you need? You just need like a bank account, or do I need like a SSM?
For DuitNow,
Yeah, so do I need like a company? I mean, Do It Now QR.
DuitNow
Sorry.
QR.
Yeah.
As long as you register, it's either with SSM or with the local councils.
Mm.
Yeah, so like the acquirer may facilitate onboarding of the sellers or the hawkers. Yeah.
I see. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Khairuan. I think that has been a very informative discussion. I know now a lot more about what Do It Now and Do It Now QR is, and I'm very interested about this PayNet company. I mean, they are the people behind the scenes, making sure that our money goes to where they are supposed to go, and they go there really quickly, especially during payday.
Yes.
Before we go, we're gonna answer some questions or read out some comments that you viewers put in our video. So for this session, we picked the Taco Bell video that Alex made. So the first comment is from ZMC, and he said, "My friend told me the price is RM 30 ringgit plus for each dish. Moral of the story: don't trust people." What does it mean? But what does he mean by this? Is the price 30 ringgit plus for a meal?
Not really. If you go for a combo set, it ranges between 13 to 16 ringgit. So not that bad. It's actually quite okay lah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Another viewer, Kek Hian Piang says, "My daughter has been waiting for that for so long. Finally, they landed in our motherland, Malaysia." She by the way, she means Taco Bell. So is Cyberjaya the first? Are they going to open more outlets in Malaysia?
Yeah, definitely. So if you don't go all the way so far to Cyberjaya, there'll be more outlets coming up soon. And we know that there's one coming up at Tropicana Gardens Mall at Kota Damansara.
Yay.
Yeah.
I tried some Taco Bell. It's actually quite good lah.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a legit alternative to other fast food. I think it's nice. Okay, the biggest question. So Amma Muhammad Ali and also one Ame, viewers of this Taco Bell video, asked, "Is it halal certified?"
At the moment, Taco Bell is in the process of getting halal certification for their restaurants. But according to Taco Bell, all the ingredients are from halal sources.
Okay, so I guess technically they are halal. They're just waiting for the certification.
Yeah, they're working towards that, so they had to comply.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I just want to remind everybody we're also available on podcast. So if you're listening to Let's Talk About on podcast, just search for us, Sorry Chinchao, Let's Talk About, and we're available on all of your favorite podcast platforms. And if you are listening to this show, please do give us a 5-star rating if you like the show, and because that helps us a lot. If you are watching the show on YouTube, thanks for watching. Please do give us a thumbs up if you like the show. Drop a comment if you have any questions about PayNet, about Do It Now QR, and Do It Now. We'll be able to, I think, send the questions to Khairuan, and he will be able to answer them for you firsthand. If you have any suggestions of any topic that you'd like us to cover on the next show, also drop them in the comment section. And if you haven't already, please do remember to subscribe to our channel. All right, this is Amin.
And this is Alex.
Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you guys later.
Bye.